Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the August 17th, 2026 regular board meeting of Tampa Bay Water. This meeting was noticed in the Florida Administrative Register and on the Tampa Bay Water website. The meeting is available for viewing through live streaming, and a recording of the meeting will be posted on the agency's website. Today, we're continuing to use our new feature that allows board members to request to speak and to make motions in seconds using their tablets rather than speaking out. We expect this change to improve accuracy and clarity, as it can be difficult to hear across the dais. So board members, as we move through the meeting, please use your tablets for these functions. And we appreciate everyone's patience as we adjust to this new process. At this moment, we have our Pledge of Allegiance, and our vice chair is going to lead us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Clerk, can you please call roll call?
Commissioner Cohen?
Here.
Mayor Davis?
Here.
Commissioner Eggers?
Here.
Councilman Miranda?
Here.
Commissioner Oakley? Commissioner Peters? Commissioner Woostel?
Here.
Vice Chair Waitman?
Present.
Chair Hanowitz?
Here.
Madam Chair, a quorum is present.
Thank you. Board members, are there any changes to the agenda? I see none. At this point, we go to public comment. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. The first speaker I have here is David Ballard Geddes Jr. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. David Ballard Geddes Jr. I live on Georgia Avenue in Palm Harbor. The Federalist Papers reveals 3 constitutions: the former, the latter, and the last resort. 1 and 1, and 1 is 3. Got to be good looking. It's just so hard to see. Tip your hat to the new Constitution and pray you don't get fooled again. This change, it had to come. You knew it all along. And even Mick Jagger at Madison Square Gardens in 1969 said, "Welcome to the breakfast show." The Federalist Papers were not written by Hamilton, Madison, or John Jay. The Federalist Papers were originally drafted by a shoemaker by the name of Jacob Boehm. Shoemaker, stick to thy last. The Declaration of Independence in perpetuity counterfeits itself as preamble to a second constitution seen as the captures of water in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11, birthing unwarranted 14th Amendment water jurisdictions as declared, thus revealing the methodology of the prince in the Declaration of Independence written by Niccolo Machiavelli. Oh, for it is far better to be feared than it is to be loved. Even George Washington, he claims to be of greatest rankness and truly one's worst enemy in his Farewell to Christianity address. And he states that twice we are being given a useful lesson on our heads, seen as a useful art for limited times in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8. Our current Constitution, unconstitutionally, is being used as a bill of attainder, a letter of marque, an ex post facto form of reprisal seen as inexcusably defective in Federalist Paper number 64, both deaf to the voice of justice and consequentity as written in the Declaration of Independence. Abraham Lincoln, he did not write the 14th Amendment. He amended it to include the rebellion clause denouncing the Book of Common Rebellion. Such well-bound book of rebellion is possibly found in Statute 298.36. London bridges falling down, London bridges falling down. And they can take their wayfaring mercenaries down with them too. Welcome to the bond market. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Joe Abuzak. Good morning.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joe Busick. I live in Tampa, Florida. 3.6 miles north of the football stadium on Lake Carroll. Representing Lake Carroll today, of the approximate 1,000 people, there's about 400 homes on the lake. There's about 600 that use the lake. The lake is at record low, and we're looking for a current reading. Based on that condition, the lake is under duress to this degree. There's no boating, there's no fishing, there's no action, and worse, there's collateral damage. There's a number of boats, probably 50 up on the lift because we have no water under our dock or lifts. So those boats are stranded there. So that brings us to why am I here? I am in here representing the three associations that are asking for help. We know we cannot solve this problem. This problem is very complex. It requires a lot of effort and coordination, of which I want to report now that there is coordination being done through the coordination help of Mr. Hogg, excuse me. And he's going to set up the meeting to do this. So that's why I'm here, is to personally thank him for his responsibility to support us. But I also know that it's going to take a lot more coordination maybe to this. We're in a drought. Where's it going to end? I don't know. But that's why we're here. In summary, I want to take up less than your time, and I want to thank you for the time this morning and the opportunity to speak with you. And if you'll keep in mind, Lake Carroll needs your help. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I have no more public speakers. Mr. Hogg and Mr. Cardin, if you can just keep us posted on your work on this, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Next up, we move on to consent. Are there any items that the board wishes to pull? I don't see any.
Move consent.
Second.
So we have I have the mover to approve as Commissioner Wastel, seconder Miranda.
I'm going to
We're still
spam
working-
that
we're still
button
wor- we're-
the whole
We're
meeting.
still working on this. That's what the machine,
We'll give the credit to the.
he moved quickly. And he knew exactly what he was doing. Clerk, if you, board members, please enter your votes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, clerk. Next up, we move to the regular agenda. We have the general manager's report. This item is for information only.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. We will start, have Mr. Hogg go to the presentation podium, and as I speak to the conditions out there briefly, and he will get into a little more detail. We are still in the drought, and we're about more than halfway through our typical rainy season. Good news is we did put some water in the reservoir, and it's been a long time coming. So I know we're over 4 billion gallons, but the reservoir does hold 15 billion gallons, so we got a long way to go. It took a while to get to where we are, and so it'll take a little while to get out. And so, Warren, would you walk us through some of the statistics?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. We're still looking at drought conditions that cover most of the state, especially our Tri-County area. We have started making some progress in diminishing the drought conditions, although it's still persistently an extreme or severe drought over almost all of the three-county area. This was an update from last week. This map is updated once per week, and we do watch it closely to see how things are progressing. Since the rains happened that caused some recovery, it's gone very dry, so I don't expect a whole lot of gain to be seen for the next week or so, but we are anticipating our summer rains to return later this week, and hopefully they will return and stay with us. Our service area remains in a Stage 3 regional water supply shortage under our water shortage mitigation plan, and that's because we are running a rainfall deficit of 14.3 inches over the last year, and the flow in the Hillsborough River remains at 23.3 million gallons a day below the normal level for the last 12 months. The Water Management District continues its Phase 3 water shortage restrictions, and that's good until at least October 1st. If we don't see some improvement in our conditions, that could possibly be extended. We'll be continuing those discussions with the Water Management District. So water conservation, enforcement of restrictions will remain critical through the summer and fall as we try to recover and focus on storing as much water in the reservoir as possible. Mr. Carden mentioned it took a while to get into this. It's going to take a while to get out. We started our drought conditions in September of last year. We should have gotten 7.5 to 8 inches of rain, but we only got about 2. It's been very, very dry since, with only average rain in December and July, and we had one good month, and that was May. That has put us into the significant shortage that we are in. We did get river flows increasing in late July, with rains finally in the upper part of the Hillsborough and Alafire River basins. Until then, much of the rain had been pinned along the coastal communities, which does help reduce demand, but it did not make the rivers flow to the point where we could sustainably harvest water. Through the month of July, for the first 10 months, we delivered an average of 206.1 million gallons a day for the year to date. It's about 7 million gallons a day higher than last year because of the drought conditions. It's about 3.5% more water than last year. We are focused on refilling the reservoir, but we're looking for glimmers of good news. It appears that the conservation and enforcement of restrictions is paying off. We had projected in the beginning of the year, we project what we need to deliver, we expect to deliver to the members each month. For the month of July, we delivered about 10 million gallons a day less than we had anticipated. And for us, that means that the restrictions and the enforcement are helping, along with some of the much-needed rain in the coastal communities. The 12-month average pumping rate for the consolidated permit well fields has been steadily increasing since July of last year, and we reached a 12-month running average of 106.3 million gallons a day at the end of July. As we are focused on refilling the reservoir as much as we can this summer, it's caused us to shift our production to other facilities such as the well fields and the desalination facility so we can store as much water as possible. We do anticipate this will begin to decline as soon as we can get some sustained rains. We are running our surface water treatment plant at 30 million gallons a day. And for this month, we've been running that simply from river flow, not taking any out of the reservoir. So that's good news. We're either running at 30 for what we can capture, everything else is going right into the reservoir for storage. The South Central Hillsborough Regional Well Field, the running averaged 26.57 million gallons a day at the end of July, which is below its permit limit. And we expect to remain pretty close to the permit limit for the coming months. Our reservoir was forecasted to be almost 3.5 to 4 billion gallons at the end of July. We were flatlined as we had not stored any water in it until really the end of the month. As of last night, we did increase over 4 billion gallons. So we're now about 26% full. That's an encouraging sign. And if we can get good summer rains starting again this week, then we'll store as much as we can for the coming dry season. Before we transition, I'd be happy to answer any questions on this section.
Questions? Request to speak?
Thank you.
Continue. Thank you.
Okay, and I will continue with some of the topics on the slide. In July, our IT department and some of our other leadership departments conducted a cybersecurity table talk exercise. And so it was our first time doing that internally, and it was very, very well attended, and we learned a lot working amongst ourselves as something that's different, different threat out there. We also continue to closely monitor reports of the cyber activity targeting water utilities across the United States, and we remain actively engaged in evaluating possible threats to our systems. Also, last month, the agency hosted a series of knowledge to implementation workshops. We call them K2I. We had 3 of our members, they were represented here, Hillsborough County, Pinellas, and the city of St. Petersburg with these workshops. And we shared knowledge and explored innovative solutions to some of the common utility challenges that we all face. Also, just Tuesday, last week, the Pasco County Commissioners formally approved requesting a new point of connection with Tampa Bay Water somewhere east of Cypress Creek. We have to work out the details. It is something that will come to this board in form of a letter, and we will bring it to the next board meeting for approval, and then we will evaluate and work out an agreement with the county. I believe the letter coming will say the new point of connection is needed by the year 2035. Also wanted to give you an update on our pricing of bonds that we did. In July, the board approved a resolution to secure $292 million for our capital improvement plan coming up, and also refunded a portion of the outstanding 2016A bonds. And so on August 4th, the agency priced the revenue bonds and the refunding bonds, and they were well received by the investors. In fact, they were oversubscribed 6 times, meaning we needed $360 million, and we ended up getting orders for over $2.3 billion, which put us in a good position to negotiate lower rates. The next challenge or milestone will be August 27th. That'll be the closing of the bond funds, and so that should be coming up here in the next 2 weeks. Also, we've been busy talking to local stations and the newspapers about the recent rain and our drought conditions. You see here Warren, myself, and Paul Stanek, we're on some of the local news stations talking about the recent rains and how they are affecting us. Malik Rankin, she's on the picture on the far right. She's our public communications specialist. She participated in Keep Tampa Bay Beautiful Back to School Bash earlier this month. We sponsor their education program, which makes these events and activities possible. And recently, our purchasing staff attended the Build St. Pete Construction Expo, which connects businesses and buyers and agencies to provide access to opportunities and partnerships. And finally, I'd like to congratulate the finance team for receiving the GFOA, which is the Government Finance Officers Association Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. And I believe it's the year number 18 in a row, Christina, so congratulations and thank you, the whole team. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Congratulations, Christina, and your team. Good job. 18-year streak. Okay. I don't see any requests to speak. We're going to move on to our action items. And we have C1 and C2 that are going to be presented together by Maribel Medina. And this requires a board vote.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Today, I will present 2 related action items that support the final delivery of the South Hillsborough Pipeline and associated projects. This map illustrates our South Hillsborough Pipeline project. The pipeline is essential to meeting Hillsborough County's growing water needs in the 2028 timeframe. In addition to the pipeline, the project also includes requested improvements to Hillsborough County's infrastructure, as well as new points of connection and a new alkalinity adjustment facility. This project is being delivered through the Construction Manager at Risk, or CMAR, approach. With CMAR, the work is competitively bid and awarded as the project advances. allowing construction to proceed while remaining design elements are finalized. The board initially approved Garney, our CMAR, and has already approved their pre-construction services and 3 guarantee maximum price or GMP packages. Today's action is for the 4th and final GMP package. The project is well underway, and work on segment B of the pipeline is beginning, and approval of this package will provide the remaining construction scope needed to complete the South Hillsborough pipeline project. I will proceed with a more detailed construction update at the end of this meeting under agenda item D1. Now moving on to the action items, agenda item C1, we request approval of the 4th amendment to contract 2023-027 with Garney Companies, Inc. GMP number 4 includes the new alkalinity adjustment facility, Hillsborough County improvements, and the points of connection work. The total value of this GMP is $53.65 million, with Tampa Bay Water funding about $38.8 million and Hillsborough County funding about $14.8 million. And with that, staff recommends approval of this GMP amendment under contract 2023-027 in the amount of $53.65 million.
Thank you. I have a request to speak from Commissioner Eggers.
Good morning. Thank you for the presentation. Just a brief update on how we're doing with these projects as compared to what we were estimating costs to be. Trying to get a feel overall.
Sure. So I have my handy notes in here. So initially, the project scope included segment A, segment B, and the points of connection work. The current budget, as published in our latest CIP program, is $505.7 million. And with the work that we are requesting approval today, the total budget is $534.4 million. Slightly, it's about $28.7 million above the current budget. Most of the work and the delta that we see in this project is reflected with work that was requested by Hillsborough County, a significant portion of that. And in addition to that, we have increased slightly the budget for property acquisition for segment B. So that's the delta that you will see and the net increase.
Thank you.
I don't see any other requests to speak. If anyone wants to make a motion, you can note on the tablet. We have Commissioner Wastel moving, and with a second by Commissioner Cohen. Clerk, if you can open the machine for voting. Board members, please enter your votes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Move on to the next item.
All right. Well, with approval of the GMP amendment addressing this agenda item, I will now transition to agenda item C2, which addresses the program and construction management support services for these projects. Now, Black & Veatch has supported Tampa Bay Water throughout the planning, design, GMP negotiations, and construction phases of the South Hillsborough Pipeline Program and associated projects under their Integrated Program Management Services contract. They have been supporting this program since 2022. This amendment to a task authorization under their contract, Black & Veatch will continue to provide the 3 key functions shown on this slide. Through these efforts, Black & Veatch will continue overseeing program delivery, coordinating the engineering and construction services and teams, and provide a strategic support to Tampa Bay Water through the project completion and closeout. And with that, staff requests approval of this assignment increase to Black & Veatch in the amount of $3.76 million.
Okay. I don't see any requests to speak.
Just a quick question.
Oh, yep, Commissioner Eggers.
Sorry. Again, kind of a cost. This is just the last piece. So what's their contract total been so far?
Yes. Agenda item C2 do have that total number reflected. If you give me 1 second, I will find it exactly. I believe is $7.3 million.
Total?
The total since 2022 through the end of this project, which will be by the end of the
So that
2028.
includes the 3.7 that we're,
Exactly. We are adding 3.7, and the aggregate of the entire assignment to Black and Beach will be 7.37.
and that's for the entire 505 million, or $534 million.
That's included in that total.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't see any other requests to speak. If there is a motion to approve, there is a motion by Commissioner Wastall with a second by Commissioner Eggers. Clerk, if you can open the machine for voting. Board members, please enter your votes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, and thank you, Maribel. Next up, we have C3, that's going to be presented by Kelly Fernandez, our General Counsel. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. This is another item related to the South Hillsborough Pipeline. We're requesting approval of a settlement with the Fish Hawk Community Development District for the acquisition of 7 permanent easements and 2 temporary easements. That's the most property we're obtaining from any one parcel or property owner. The amount of this settlement is a little over $2.1 million. And this was negotiated and recommended by our special counsel, Gray Robinson, and we're recommending approval. Happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Eggers?
Yeah, same question. How are we doing as it relates to what we were estimating those costs to be total?
I would have to defer to Maribel to give you those figures.
Hello again.
Hello again. I'm glad that I prepared for this.
Thank you, Maribel.
So actually, property acquisition have increased slightly for segment B. So most of the remaining parcels that we're acquiring are through undergoing the eminent domain process, and we have seen that we have been negotiating quite a lot with the property owners. So initially, segment B had a budget of $9 million, and we're estimating as of today that we will be spending $11.4 million.
11.4.
From 9 initial budget on property cost only.
But let me just add, that is just segment B. The entire property budget for that whole pipeline is $23 million budget, and we've spent just a little bit over 3, and we've got 20 or 30 so more parcels to go out of a total of 204. So we're getting close to the end, and we have some savings, some budget.
Yeah.
under it.
You've actually spent 11.4 on B.
No, on the entire A
so
and B,
far.
but we have still some to go.
Right.
At
But
that
the
point.
budget was 23.
Originally, yes.
Originally, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't see any other requests to speak. If there is a motion to approve, there's a motion by Commissioner Eggers, that's seconded by Commissioner Wastall. Clerk, if you can open the machine for voting. Board members, please enter your votes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. C4, this is going to be presented by Danielle Kersey, the Senior Project Manager. Good morning, Danielle.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. Agenda item C4 is an action item for the South Hillsborough Wellfield, and at the end of this presentation, I'll be requesting approval of the professional engineering services contract with Stantec Consulting Services. As a reminder, the South Hillsborough Wellfield has been a potential water supply project since 2018, and public engagement has occurred since 2021. Staff completed a feasibility study in 2021 that included the construction of a test production well and an aquifer performance test. The study confirmed the project's feasibility in alignment with the board's approved 3 evaluation criteria of cost effectiveness, environmental stewardship, and reliability. A second aquifer performance test was conducted in 2023, which validated these results. And in October of 2025, the board approved this project as a new water supply and treatment capacity project. Since then, the team has advertised requests for proposals for professional engineering and construction manager at-risk services. Today's presentation is for approval of the professional engineering services contract. This project was originally contingent on an agreement with Hillsborough County that included the purchase of groundwater recharge credits via the South Hillsborough Aquifer Recharge Program to provide the net benefit associated with our proposed withdrawals. However, in 2022, Tampa Bay Water and Hillsborough County were unable to reach terms of an agreement in a timely manner, and the project was put back into the long-term master water plan for future consideration. Since that time, this board has approved the acquisition of water use permits from private landowners, enabling the transfer of water use permits to this well field. We now have acquired 3.7 million gallons per day and are working towards 3 more water use permit acquisitions that we estimate will yield about 5.5 MGD. We can also increase the yield of this well field by up to 6.1 million gallons per day if we can successfully negotiate to buy reclaim credits with Hillsborough County. This yield is based on the county's minimum recharge of up to 10 million gallons per day. The total potential yield of 6 to 12 million gallons could go up if we acquire additional permits or if Hillsborough County increases its aquifer recharge system. This project does have the potential to be implemented in phases as we acquire additional quantities. The proposed wellfield layout shown here would support withdrawals of 6 to 12 MGD with the design and construction of up to 8 production wells, monitoring wells, approximately 4 miles of collector main piping, a groundwater ozone treatment facility for the removal of hydrogen sulfide, and a point of connection and metering facilities. This project will be delivered using a construction manager at risk, or CMAR, which is the same delivery method being used currently for the South Hillsborough pipeline. The estimated completion date is November 2029, which will help meet the region's growing drinking water needs. The scope of services for this project, or this contract, includes well design and testing, water treatment and collector main design, groundwater modeling, permitting support, surveying services, CMAR collaboration and negotiation support, and public outreach. And with that, staff recommends approval of the professional engineering services contract with Stantec Consulting for $14.3 million.
Thank you. I don't see any requests to speak on this item. Is there a motion on this item? There's a motion to approve by Commissioner Cohen, seconded by Councilmember Miranda. Clerk, if you can open the machine for voting. Board members, please enter your votes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, we're done, I think, with the South Hillsborough items. Next up, we have surface water treatment plant item, that's C5. Kareem Molina-Oyola, the project manager, is going to be presenting. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. Again, I am Karim Molina, Tampa Bay Water Project Manager. Agenda item C5 is an action item for the SCADA system upgrades project at the surface water treatment plant. At the end of this presentation, I will be requesting your approval for the contract amendment with Veolia for the construction phase services associated to this project. The Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition System, better known as the SCADA system, is used by Tampa Bay Water to monitor and control facilities remotely using real-time operational data. The SCADA system upgrades project, which is included in our capital improvement program, will modernize the technology behind the SCADA system, including PLCs, data networks, and cybersecurity controls, among others. The design phase services, known as the Phase 1, was approved by this board back in February 2025. And since then, our team have reached the 100% design, which includes value engineering evaluations and the negotiated guaranteed maximum price for Phase 2, construction phase, which is which is presented today. As for the upcoming milestones, we will start construction activities now in August, concurrently with the surface water treatment plant expansion project. And we will reach substantial completion and final completion by December 2028 and February 2029, respectively. Moving on, this slide summarizes the project cost under the existing contract and the proposed $20 million contract amendment for the Phase 2, which includes engineering services during construction, equipment and materials, construction labor, and owner's allowances and contingencies. And with that, Staff requests approval of the negotiated agreement amendment with Veolia for the construction services in the amount of $20.3 million, which also includes about $1.3 million in owner's allowances. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. I don't see any requests to speak at this time. Is there a motion on this item to approve? There is a motion from Commissioner Wassel, seconded by Councilmember Miranda. Clerk, if you can open the machine for voting. Board members, please enter your votes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Molina.
you.
Next up, we have C6. This is for professional services contracts as needed engineering services. This is going to be presented by James Smith, a professional engineer. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Again, my name is James Smith. I am a professional engineer in your engineering department. This morning, I will present agenda item C6 regarding the new as-needed engineering services, professional services contracts, and request your approval. The current as-needed engineering contracts approved in September 2021 are nearing expiration. Recent updates to Florida's Consultants Competitive Negotiation Act increased the threshold for continuing contracts, allowing Tampa Bay Water greater flexibility in delivering smaller engineering projects. Tampa Bay Water continues to advance major capital improvements, asset renewal efforts, and long-term planning initiatives. To support this work, we need to access a wide range of engineering expertise. These contracts provide the flexibility to obtain specialized support for studies, design, permitting, and technical services as needs arise, without conducting a separate procurement for each assignment. We conducted a procurement process that's described in your agenda memo. Firms were invited to create teams that qualified for all engineering disciplines. There were 25 responses to Tampa Bay Water's invitation for the 5-year contract at a value not to exceed $1.25 million, and individual tasks up to $500,000. Tasks above this amount will require board approval, as do tasks that support a CIP project. Evaluating 25 responses is a significant effort. Almost 2,000 pages were evaluated by each selection committee member. A special thank you to the committee for their huge effort in evaluating the responses. Award of these contracts does not obligate the board at this time. Budgets for these expenditures are in either the rates budget you approve each year or in the project budgets as approved by the board. Based on the qualifications and very tight scoring, all 25 contracts are recommended for award for as-needed engineering for the next 5 years. This slide lists the recommended firms. Out of the 25, 9 firms are brand new or have not worked with Tampa Bay Water recently. Staff recommends approval of the 25 as-needed engineering firms for the noted contract numbers. This concludes my presentation, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Any comments, questions? So I guess we've increased over 100% from 12 to 25. That's good, more competitive. Okay, if there is a motion on this item, there is a motion to approve by Commissioner Wassel, seconded by Commissioner Whitman. Clerk, if you can open the machine for voting. Board members, please enter your votes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Smith. We move on to presentation and reports. The first presentation is the South Hillsborough Pipeline and Surface Water Treatment Plant Expansion Project's construction update, and Maribel Medina is going to present this.
Now to the fun stuff, right?
All the
Agenda item D1 provides a construction status update on our surface water treatment plant expansion and the South Hillsborough Pipeline projects. I will start with an update on our surface water treatment plant expansion project. Now, the surface water treatment plant is the heart or workhorse of our surface water system. In 2022, the board approved this project as part of our long-term master water plan to meet the region's needs by the year 2028. The plant expansion will provide up to an additional 12.5 million gallons per day to the region. It includes a 5th treatment train with supporting systems, which are labeled A through E on the diagram. The new treatment train will mirror the existing treatment processes currently in operation. Area A represents the 5th treatment train. Area B shows the belt press replacement. Area C identifies the location of the 3 new filters. Area D shows the location of the chemical buildings, and Area E includes the expanded solids drying beds. In Area A, ground reinforcement has been completed. The team is currently working to cut these reinforcement columns down to grade before installing the load transfer platform. The picture on the bottom right shows the ongoing work for the grouted columns cut down to grade in support of the load transfer platform installation. And the main picture shows the pipe gallery new overhead conduits piping from the South Electrical Building into train number 5. In Area B, 3 of the belt filter presses have been delivered to the site and are set in place. The installation of piping and fitting connections to support the new presses is now in progress. And the main picture shows the new belt filter press area and plumbing work. And the top left picture shows one of the belt filter presses containment walls and concrete pedestals. In Area C and D, the team have completed the installation of the 16-inch filter-to-waste piping and concrete encasement, the installation of formwork and rebar at the hypochlorite and ferric tanks, and leak testing of the chemical tank containment area walls. Now, the team is now working on the installation of the 48-inch piping at an existing connection in new filters 16 through 18, load transfer platform, and conduit installation from the dry chemical building to the electrical building. Now, the top right picture shows the chemical tank containment wall rebar installation, and the main picture shows the final product and the leak test for this new chemical tank containment area. Overall, the surface water treatment plant project is progressing well and remains on track. Construction work is currently at 10% of work completed, and spending is aligned at 20% of the total $167 million construction budget. As construction activities increase, our effort will continue to be on maintaining alignment between the progress, spending, and schedule performance. And at this stage, we have not identified any need to use our owner's allowances and contingencies. Now I will proceed with an update on our distribution system expansion project, the South Hillsborough Pipeline.
Maribel, before you proceed, I have Commissioner Wassel who has a question or comment. You want to wait till the end? Okay.
All right. Okay, this pipeline will carry water from our surface water treatment plant at the regional facilities site to Hillsborough County at Lithia and Balm to meet the county's water needs. And you will recall from previous presentations that we have identified 17 tunnel locations that were strategically planned to minimize traffic impacts, disruptions, and reduce environmental impacts during construction as well. Those are shown in the orange diamonds across the entire route. Since our last update, we have added 2 additional red circles which show the locations where tunneling work has been completed. A total of 6 locations have been completed. Now, here is another look at the route showing all the locations under construction for both segments A and B. These sites include microtunnels, open trench installation, any restoration and clearing, and grubbing activities. Over the past month, the project team has worked really hard to prepare for back-to-school traffic near construction zones. Numerous coordination meetings were held with Hillsborough County Public Schools, Transportation, and Safety Departments, and Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office was represented in some of these meetings. There was also close coordination with Brandon High School, Kingswood Elementary, Boyette Springs Elementary, Valrico Academy, Bell Creek Academy, and St. Stephen's Catholic. Before the school started, the team created and printed flyers for 6 different schools back-to-back nights and created social media graphics for schools to post on their websites or social media channels. And we're happy to report that construction, despite all the weather-related challenges at Brandon High School, has been completed. The east and west parking lots were accessible before the start of the school year. And to make up time and minimize impacts at Kingswood Elementary School, the contractor had 2 crews working, one day crew and one night crew, to complete the installation on South Kings Avenue as soon as possible. And actually, this morning I got a text message saying that all work is complete. So this is excellent news for the project and the parents in that area. Moving on, crews also are making progress in other locations. In the image on the left shows the installation of the carrier pipe for the Lakewood microtunnel. The pipe has been installed and crews are working to backfill the tunnel shaft so that Woodbury and Limona roads reopen within the next 2 weeks. The image on the right is a drone view of the Little Fishhawk horizontal directional drill, which was completed on July 19. And completion of the Little Fishhawk horizontal directional drill marked a significant milestone, as both horizontal directional drilling crossings for the project are now complete. The remaining trenchless work consists of microtunnel installations. Beyond the outreach to local schools, the public engagement team has created a video reel on the Little Fishhawk Creek horizontal directional drill, which received about 158,000 views across all platforms through July. We also created one on the fusing process that received about 43,000 views, and one on the bentonite slurry used for the pool that received about 81,000 total views. The team is also coordinating efforts with 2 tours for Hillsborough County staff and a presentation to the Brandon Rotary Club. Overall, this project is progressing well and remains on track. Construction is about 8% completed based on the number of linear feet of pipe installed. And construction spending is aligned at 20% of the total $461.2 million construction budget, which includes construction cost, engineering services during construction, and the support from Black & Veatch. At this stage, we have not identified any correction actions for schedule and budget. And this concludes my presentation, and I will be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Wastel.
Thank you. My comments are particularly about the pipeline, not the water treatment plant. I know that you guys have done significant outreach, and I understand that in general the public would like their water to just magically come from the faucet, and they don't want to see the construction that goes along with it. But I met a nice young British woman, about 76, who stopped short of calling me the devil the other day after acknowledging that I didn't even vote for this route because it was done before I was elected. And factually, I would not have voted for this route had I been on the board at the time. I would have voted for the other one. The school images that we get are just kind of negate all of the work that we've done to notify the public. And you can't force people to be engaged, but we've got to do something more, whether if it's coordinating with Hillsborough County's sign department that sticks the rezone signs everywhere. Perhaps they can way ahead of time of you scheduling construction, particularly near intersections and schools, that we're posting signs saying, hey, expect delays, explore alternative routes, whatever it is. We've got to find something to notify the public. I mean, I think that it was a poor idea to not do the more rural areas during or the more active areas during the summer, and the more rural areas during the school season. So whatever can be done, whether if it's from Garney or Hillsborough County's water department, just helping notifying the public better, I think the general public would really appreciate it. I mean, they don't want to hear that we did something at the Rotary. You can't force people to be engaged, but they're just going to blame us no matter what. So whatever we're doing right now doesn't seem to be working. And, 158,000 views on Facebook might be nice, but, I don't think that that's educating the actual residents that are going to see the disruption. So anything that can be done, I would appreciate it. And I believe that this constituent was actually the one that came, she said, sometime last year with her daughter. So anything that we can do, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
I don't see any other comments. Commissioner Wassel, it's horrible to inherit a vote that you're the one that has to deal with the constituents in your area and you're not happy with the vote. I know that I wasn't for this item because, well, I thought some of this stuff was going to happen. But in any event, I think our team is trying to do the best they can with getting the communications out. If we can do more work, that would be great to let parents and the schools know. I will tell you, no one likes car lines. And no one likes traffic getting to car lines. So yeah, any work on this could be appreciated so we could get the word out. And I do agree. The post getting the views just shows that people are interested in the issue. They probably need more communication. Okay. I don't see any other requests to speak. Do we have any other items, administrative matters or business that any board member wants to address or anyone? And I don't see any requests to speak on that. And that means that we have reached receive and file, which requires a motion to receive and file. I have a motion by Commissioner Wastel and a second by Commissioner Cohen. Clerk, if you can open the machine for voting. Board members, please enter your votes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Okay, and so we have come to the end of our board meeting, I think in like record time. I thought it was going to be longer this time. We have an October scheduled meeting that is one of the meetings that we can decide to go forward or not. Huh? I'm sorry, September. I'm looking at October. September meeting. I'm going too fast. So we may look to see if maybe we don't have a September meeting depending on what's on the agenda. So I just wanted to let the board members know about that. With no other requests to speak, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.